Hello everybody, my name is Colin, welcome back to another video. Today in this one it's going to be my first Genesis dueling video, and in this one it's going to be pure Mitsurugi taking on Odion. Yes, it's going to be my first ever kind of showcase of a match in Genesis format. Now this is on DB. I've done one of these videos in a super long time. I think it's been like years since I've done a dueling book match kind of video. But today we're doing a Genesis one because Genesis is new. I do like the format where it's at. So I'm going to be the Mitsurugi player here. That's going to be Cog Lime on the bottom. That is me. And then the Odion player will be on the top. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video, shall we? So I did win the die roll and choose to go first here. Our starting hand is okay. I mean, you have a Habakiri. Habakiri is a one-card combo, but the rest of the hand, you kind of wish it was better. You know, drawing two Habakiris doesn't really help you there. Same thing with two Final Bringer of End Times. You know, it's a solid card, but you don't want to draw multiple of them. And then for the Odion player, kind of an insane hand. Imperm, Songs of the Dominators, Altergeist Protocol, so you can also include Altergeist in this Odion list. And then Man of the Mark plus Multi-Faker, which is really insane because the things with Imperm can actually be another like turn zero kind of player as well. So a kind of insane hand, even though Songs maybe conflict with Multi-Faker, I think you will take that. This hand's kind of really insane. So we'll go standby main phase. We'll activate Habakiri here. Habakiri does resolve by go ahead and special and then tribute Saji. Go Saji effect here to go ahead and search for Ritual. So this is the 60-point card in Mitsurugi. So that's already 60 points already seen in the Mitsurugi deck. Now we'll go Ritual here to summon out from hand. We'll go ahead and summon out or tribute Armasa and then a Night Sword Serpent to go ahead and special out Habakiri. New chain will go Armasa Chainlink 1, Serpent Chainlink 2. Serpent will go ahead and special itself, and then Armasa will go ahead and search out Kusanji. And then we'll go ahead and normal summon out Kusanji effect to target the Ritual to attempt to add back. We'll chain the Imperm on the Kusanji there. Maybe a little bit of a misplay for me. A lot of people like to tribute Kusanji here, but I like having 2 4s on the field to kind of access my extra deck here. But in this hand, kind of rough because you have really no other play after this. And now we go Multi-Faker effect in the Odion hand to go ahead and special itself to the field here. Multi-Faker effect will trigger to go ahead and special an Altergeist from deck here, and we'll go ahead and special out fuck, my god, what is that name? Sequilitus? I don't know, that's kind of super hard. But this one is an interruption. You can return one other Altergeist card you control to the hand, target one card your opponent controls, and return it to the hand. So that's another interruption that I do have to worry about. So we'll go ahead and think here. We'll just go ahead and set final 2 of the Final Bringer of End Times and attempt to pass there. Now we'll go Sequilitus effect to go ahead and bounce back the Multi-Faker to go ahead and bounce back a card on the field, and he just targets one of the back row. In my opinion, I think you go after Habakiri there because Habakiri, you know, it could be like a enemy controller or something like that, maybe like a Magatama that you're worrying about. So you'd much rather get rid of the Habakiri to make sure you don't get any value off of that. But I guess he decides that the back row will be more of a problem than Habakiri being able to trigger would, so you go off the back row. He draws into punishment for turn here. Goes into the main phase, normal summons Man of the Mark here, activate Man of the Mark, to go ahead and search for a Temple of the Kings, or a spell trap that mentions it. We'll search for Treasure of the Kings here, and then we'll go ahead and activate Treasure of the Kings effect to go ahead and set a Apophis the Serpent from the deck. We'll set one more card, and then go the second effect of Treasure of the Kings to go ahead and search for Merciless Scorpion the Circuit. Now we'll go ahead and banish Anubis, the Last Judge, to go ahead and special out the Merciless Scorpion. On summon, we do have to think. So he does trigger the effect, but I decide to think on summon here. And then on summon, we'll go Final Bringer of End Times, targeting the Night Sword Serpent and the Circuit here, just so we can get rid of it. Make sure he doesn't get to a Temple of the Kings, because Man of the Mark currently protects anything that a Temple of the Kings and any Odion monsters, and himself while Temple of the Kings is on the field. And Treasure of the Kings is currently making himself Temple of the Kings, so it does have the protection effect. So if you want to get make sure he doesn't get to Temple of the Kings, you will need to pop this Merciless Scorpion here. So we go Final Bringer of End Times. He does allow it. Now a little bit of a misplay here. He should go Kusanagi to protect Night Sword Serpent by trimming itself, so you can go effect to add back Ritual from graveyard. Something that's kind of cool with the Final Bringer of End Times. You can tribute the Kusanagi to protect your own Serpent or whatever reptile you target, and then trigger the effect of Kusanagi. That would be a little cool to play, but did not do it there. We'll go ahead and just set 2 more. We'll attempt to put Man of the Mark in defense, but we did normal summon this turn, so he can't do that. So he puts it back to attack, and then we'll pass on that. A draw of Armasa is not a bad draw, to be honest with you. We'll go standby main phase. In the draw phase, or in the standby, sorry, we go Apophis the Serpent to go ahead and specials itself, and gets to Apophis the Swamp Deity here. And then we'll go to main phase, or well, he'll do multi-faker effect, sorry. Go special out multi-faker, then no effect to multi-faker here, because Sequelius is already on the field. Then Armasa will go ahead and normal summon itself during the main phase effect to go ahead and search from the deck here. He changed protocol to attempt to negate. He sends the multi-faker to the graveyard there to attempt to negate and destroy. We'll go ahead and chain Final Bringer of End Times, target Armasa, target protocol, and then he chains the Swamp Deity here to special itself, and he does get 3 negates because there are 3 continuous trap cards on the field here. So he negates Final Bringer of End Times, the Kusanagi, and the Habakiri, and then Armasa will get destroyed from Protocol's effect. And you can't protect with Kusanagi no more because the Swamp Deity did negate it. So kind of a little bit of a misplay there from me to make. We should probably attribute the Kusanagi during his turn to get that ritual back, because now you just have no play here. I did see that you could do that, but I have nothing to do here because we already triggered the once per duel effect of Habakiri. So Habakiri is just dead in hand. So we'll go and concede and go into the next game here. So after the siding here, I do choose to go first once again here. We'll go ahead and look at the starting hands one more time here. So kind of an insane hand for my part. We have Habakiri, Mitsurugi Ritual already in hand, which is insane because that's a 1-of. Cosmic Cyclone, Pre-Prep, and then an Enemy Controller as well. Kind of insane hand for the Odion player. We have a Man of the Mark, Anubis the Last Judge, Apophis the Swamp Deity, Personal Spoofing, and Apophis the Serpent as well. So we'll go ahead and get a pre-preparation of rights here to go ahead and search for Murakumo and search for Mirror here, and then just trying to play around draw as much as possible. We already have Ritual, so it didn't matter. Let's summon out Murakumo from hand here. Summoning Serpent and Armasa to go ahead to the graveyard. Armasa Chainlink 1, Serpent Chainlink 2. Serpent will special itself, and then we'll go ahead and just add Kusanagi back to hand. Again, kind of playing into Imperm, but, fuck it, why not? We'll just normal summon Kusanagi, add back Ritual. We don't really necessarily need to add back the Ritual there, because we already have Mirror, but I guess getting back Ritual is fine. Activate Ritual here to summon from deck. We'll tribute the Habakiri from hand, and then summon out Futso, and then go ahead and do Habakiri effect to search. We'll go ahead and search for Great Purification. And then we'll go Mirror Effect, attributing the Futso and summoning Habakiri from the graveyard. Futso affecting graveyard will trigger, searching for Magatama, then specialing itself back to the field there. And now we'll go ahead and overlay the Kusanagi and the Nightsword Serpent into a Tornado Dragon, which does do a lot against the Odion matchup. And we'll just set the fort here, and we will pass on that. The dangers of Mitsurugi in this format. 4 back row with kind of full field is kind of dangerous, to be honest with you. This would be a hell of a field, even for TCG standards. So, kind of insane. He draws into Sequelius for turn, which kind of is just a brick. That's kind of a terrible draw for you. He goes into main phase here. He comes back after leaving for 1 second. Normal summons Man of the Mark effect to go ahead and search for Treasure of the Kings. Treasure of the Kings will activate, will chain Cosmic Cyclone, paying 1,000 life points to make sure that thing gets banished. We'll set the 3 trap cards in our hand, and we will attempt to pass on that. In the end phase, Tornado Dragon will trigger to pop one in the back row. This ends up being the Apophis the Serpent here, and then we'll go Magatama, tributing Habakiri, targeting Man of the Mark, because Magatama has to target face-up or cards on the field, so he can't go after back row there. But the Odion player has seen enough, will concede on that, thinking just, man, being destroyed with only 2 back row with Tornado technically threatens, and if another Magatama gets on it, also threatens like an Apophis monster in the back row as well. So he just decides to pack it up there, and we will now go into game 3. The Odion player does choose to go first here, and we will draw our 5 cards for turn. So my hand is Cosmic Cyclone, Murakumo, Pre-Preparation, Saji, and MST. Not a bad hand. Cosmic and MST against Odion, kind of insane. And then his hand is Anubis the Last Judge, Personal Spoofing, Altergeist Manification, another Personal Spoofing, and then Apophis the Serpent. So now we'll go into main phase. We'll go Anubis the Last Judge to go ahead and search for the Man of the Mark. We'll go ahead and normal summon Mana with the Mark effect to go ahead and get Treasures of the Kings. Then activate Treasure of the Kings here. Treasure of the Kings to go ahead and set Verdict of Anubis. A kind of interesting card there. Probably getting out of the sideboard as well. Crazy counter trap that this card is. It's not only a Omni Negate, but also while you control a Temple, the Kings can destroy as many monsters your opponent controls as possible, which is very ridiculous. Now, you do need to control 3 or more spell traps to activate this card, but it's not hard for this deck to do that. So he sets Verdict of Anubis here, sets the Apophis the Serpent, then go the second effect of Treasure of the King to go ahead and search for Merciless the Scorpion. We'll go ahead and special Merciless the Scorpion by banishing Anubis the Last Judge, and then effect to go ahead and search for Temple of the Kings here. Oh, I clicked fast forward on accident. Activate Temple of the Kings here, and then we'll go ahead and activate Apophis the Serpent. Since we can activate a trap card this turn, this will let us set a Swamp Deity from the deck here, and then that can be activated this turn, so we'll go ahead and activate Swamp Deity here. And then Fusion into the Divine Serpent Apophis that will let us set back those trap cards from the graveyard here. Now we do have 2 level 6s on the field. We'll go ahead and overlay into an Evil Zor Lars. That's 2 level 6. Now it's an Omni Negate. That's kind of insane. You have Verdict of Anubis plus Lars plus, you know, pretty much your Odion package, and you can set spoofing now, and now you have your Altergeist package for your opponent's turn. So kind of a lot to play through, kind of insane end field here. So we'll pass on that. Draw for turn, a Final Bringer of End Times. Kind of an insane draw there. So we'll go ahead and go in this draw phase, just thinking here, in draw phase, we'll actually go and hit the Verdict of Anubis because that is a problem. He changed it to it, but it doesn't really necessarily matter because MST is MST, so it doesn't really do anything. So yeah, I mean, probably good to make sure Verdict of Anubis is off the field to make sure you don't have to play around that card. In the main phase, we'll go ahead and normal summon Saji. Saji effect to go ahead and search. We'll go ahead and chain Evil Zor's Lars here, targeting the Saji, but it does target, so we will chain Final Bringer of End Times, targeting Saji, targeting the Apophis of the Serpent that we do know, because it was set from the fusion monster here. He chains Apophis of the Serpent, then chains Swamp Deity in response to attempt to negate something like Final Bringer of End Times. We'll go ahead and chain Cosmic Cyclone to the Apophis, the Swamp Deity, to make sure he does not get the negate there. So it will get banished here. We'll summon out the Apophis of the Serpent, which will set just another Swamp Deity from the deck here. Now it is protected by Mana of the Mark effect, so Final Bringer of End Times will not destroy it, but it will still destroy Saji, which will dodge the negation of Lars. I'm just here just making sure that's correct, that this is protected, which it is because of the Mana of the Mark effect. We'll go ahead and search for Ritual here, and now in the nothing on resolution, we'll go ahead and activate pre-preparation of rights. Your opponent now thinking here, because he only has Swamp Deity as his pretty much last interruption here, because spoofing doesn't necessarily do anything, so we now go into a pre-prep, which he has to think of to negate, which is correct, because this gets you to a Habakiri, which could threaten a lot, so he decides to negate this, and just force me to have, because he already knows Ritual, just force out the other card, needs to be a Ritual, which in this case it is, which is Murakumo. So we go summon from hand, summon out Murakumo here. We'll go ahead and tribute out Armasa and Night Sword Serpent here. We'll go Armasa Chainlink 1, Serpent Chainlink 2, and then Murakumo Chainlink 3 to attempt to blow up the field because Mana of the Mark is protecting his monsters, those himself and the trap cards. Those won't get destroyed, but Lars does get destroyed here. We'll summon out Night Sword Serpent from the graveyard and get Habakiri from the deck here. Now, he does think on resolution on what to do, but he decides not to do anything. He asks what to search here, but he does think for a little bit longer, but decides not to do anything here. We go Habakiri effect to go ahead and special out Kusanji, and then tribute Murakumo. We'll go Kusanji Murakumo Chainlink 1, Kusanji to Chainlink 2, target Ritual to add back to hand, and then Murakumo will special itself and also search for another card, which ends up being Wosu, which could be a threatening because now you can threaten the Mana of the Mark here, tributing the Mana of the Mark, and now his trap cards now can be destroyed because Mana of the Mark is no longer on the field. So on resolution, we have to think here. We do overlay because Wosu does lock us into Reptiles, so we have to do the extra deck player now before we decide to go Wosu. So we'll go into a Tornado Dragon here. Tornado Dragon effect targeting the last back row, which he does change personal spoofing to. Spoofing, shuffle back Manifestation from the hand here to go ahead and search for a Altergeist monster from the deck here. Go ahead and search for Multi-Faker effect, or Multi-Faker, sorry. He goes ahead and specials out Multi-Faker to the field. We'll chain Murakumo to just discard that last card out of hand. Now, he does trigger Multi-Faker here, which he actually can't because effect here is you cannot special summon monsters the turn you activate this effect except for Altergeist monsters. So this is actually an illegal activation here of Multi-Faker. So he can't summon out the Sequilius because he did summon out Swamp Deity and Apophis the Serpent, which aren't Altergeist monsters. So a little bit, a little bit of a cheating there. Probably doesn't mean it, but he's probably playing with the deck for the first time. Throwing in the Altergeist stuff is kind of a new thing for the Odion thing. I haven't really seen that, but yeah, he can't summon out Sequilius because of Multi-Faker's effect, because he did summon out other monsters that aren't Altergeist. But it does happen. Neither player catches it here. So we'll go ahead and summon out Sequelius, but it doesn't trigger the effect, which is kind of a misplay because you know Wosu is in hand, which can just kaiju the Sequelius off the field. So that's your last interruption, which now is distributed off of Wosu. So since he didn't trigger it, we'll distribute Wosu and Habakiri from hand. Now we don't have to worry about any more interruptions. Habakiri effect will go ahead and search here. We'll go ahead and attempt to just search for probably Purification, just in case like he can't kill him. If you can't kill this turn, Purification is just like a nice way to make sure you have an Omni Negate for their turn. We'll go ahead and activate Ritual here to summon out from deck. We'll tribute the Wosu and then summon out Futso from deck here. Now we have to think here, we have to think if Wosu, we want to chain Wosu since it was tributed here. And we eventually do decide to go Wosu, sending Purification to add itself back to hand, meaning we're trying to go for an OTK push because now we can go Purification effect, targeting Kusanji and then tributing Futso. Futso effect to go ahead and special itself and then add Mirror from the deck here. We'll go ahead and activate Mirror, tributing the Wosu and summoning out Habakiri from the graveyard here. Now we go into battle phase, and this is OTK because Man of the Mark is can't be destroyed by battle or by card effects. It makes it where it's actually a threat in attack position because Habakiri makes it where it's at 200 attack because it's minusing it by 800, and it can't be destroyed by battle, so everything can get in against a 200 attack monster, which ends up pretty much killing him because now we attack. He has to take damage since it can't be destroyed by battle. Now we can go Futso effect attack into it. He doesn't read Habakiri, so he's like, why everything minus 800? But Habakiri is minusing everything by 800. We go Tornado attack in, and just again Habakiri attack in, which this will end up being 2200. And he just says GG because he knows the Murakumo attack will be lethal after that. So he does concede there. Kind of an insane game 3 there. Game 1, game 2, a little not interesting as much. But game 3, a very, very interesting match. The Mitsurugi player did, I say Mitsurugi player, it is me. Final bringer of End Times, Cosmic Cyclone, and MST just to be in that game. Kind of an unfortunate thing for Odion that you just had 3 answers to his back row, which is kind of unfortunate. But kind of an insane game there, to be honest with you. So that is it for the video. I hope you guys did enjoy the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe for more content on the channel, and I hope to see you guys in the next one. Goodbye.